German has 8 parts of speech too. You've probably looked at verbs and you've also looked at prepositions. But what happens when there are combinations where verbs and prepositions go together to have a distinct meaning? Let's go ahead and take a look, shall we? So, if you have a certain preposition that combines with a verb, that means we're going to have a very, very special meaning for it. So, for instance, denken is to think. Denken an is to think about. So that preposition combined with that verb gives it a very specific meaning. So if you recall, as I said, denken an typically means on or of. So when we're looking at like an der Wand, like um, das Poster ist an der Wand. So the poster is on the wall. When I said denken an, it's really to think about, although I guess you could also probably say to think on. But those two-way prepositions where we have very specific things where we look at directional, um, where it is accusative case, or when you're talking about location or spatial, where it's dative, that really has nothing to do with it. So you can't just say, hey, here's a preposition. Um, let's go ahead and figure out if it's accusative action or dative dead, so accusative directional or spatial dative. Sometimes it's just always accusative or always dative, so that's what we have to make sure we learn. So when we learn these verb prep combos, you have to learn it as a whole unit. You want to make sure that you learn the verb plus the preposition, and then you want to make sure that you learn what case it is. And as I stated before, the directional accusative or the spatial dative is extremely important. So you have to learn the two-way prepositions. So you're basically, in a sense, going to have to memorize, okay, denken an. Is it accusative or is it dative? We'll look at that in just a second. So, zum Beispiel, warten auf. All right. So take a minute and think of what do you think this means? So hopefully you got the warten part, to wait. Maybe the picture helped you as well. On, auf, hinter, in, neben, über, unter, vor, zwischen are two-way prepositions. But warten auf is always going to take the accusative. You're just going to have to learn it and memorize it. So to wait for. It's not warten für. It's not the accusative for. Warten auf. So taking a look at this picture, complete this sentence. Wir warten auf. So we are waiting for the bus. If you said den Bus, you are correct. Yay! Schreiben an. What do you think that means? So thinking about schreiben, that's to write. An is a two-way preposition or Wechselpräposition. So it takes the accusative. Did you guess right? So schreiben an is to write to. So looking at this picture, dear Santa, he is writing to um, Santa Claus. Schreibt an. Think about it. How would you say the for accusative? Den Weihnachtsmann. Helfen bei. Now, helfen is to help. Think about this one though. Is this a two-way preposition, an accusative preposition, or a dative preposition? If you said dative preposition, you are correct. And so you can't really change this. Helfen bei will take the dative case. You also have the added bonus that helfen is a dative verb. So regardless, both sections are going to make this one dative. To helfen bei is to help with. Notice it's not helfen mit. So this is very different than what you may think is logical. So the mechanic helps with the car. Der Mechaniker hilft bei blank Auto. Take a minute to think about that. Bei dem Auto. Fahren mit. So you have fahren and you have mit, fahren, to drive. Mit, is this a two-way preposition, an accusative preposition, or a dative preposition? Außer bei, mit, nach, Zeit, von, zu. Those are dative, so this is going to take dative regardless. Fahre mit, to drive with, but you're driving with people, or you go by. So this is they are driving the car, right? So they're going by car. Sie fahren mit. Take a minute, see if you can figure this one out. Dem Auto. So these are ones you should definitely know. Hopefully you've written everything else down, and if you haven't, go back and rewrite all of those notes for full credit. These verb prep combos take the accusative case. Sich beklagen über, sich bewerben bitten danken für, denken an. So that was the one I talked about before. Denken an always takes the accusative, to think of. Sich erinnern an. So this is a verb prep combo and it's reflexive. Sich freuen auf, verb prep combo and it's reflexive. So these are just some. Some of these are easy to remember that they're accusative. Für, because that's from durch, für, gegen, ohne, Those are accusative prepositions. Some of them are not. So I would encourage you to write these down. Continued. Grenzen an, sich interessieren für, sich kümmern So these are reflexive also. Lachen über, schreiben über, sprechen über, sich Entschuldigung, sich vorbereiten auf. So this is also reflexive. And warten auf. So this one and this one make sense for accusative because those are accusative prepositions. All the other ones from the previous slide and this one we got to watch out for because they're two-way. They always take accusative when we're using them in this context. Verb preps that are dative: arbeiten an, erzählen von, helfen bei, sprechen mit, suchen nach, teilnehmen an, träumen von. Some of these make sense. Außer bei, mit, nach, Zeit, von, zu. So von, bei, mit, nach, von. Those are already dative, so it'll help us remember those are dative easier. But note that these are verb prepped together. Übung macht den Meister. Take a moment, write these out, pause this video, and see if you can figure these out. Notice I've gone ahead and highlighted with other colors the verb prep combos, and take a look at your list and all of your notes to see if you can recall whether these will be accusative or dative. When you are ready to check your answers, resume this video and you can check them. Heidi fährt mit dem Rad zur Post. Hans schreibt an seinen Bruder. Wenn Wolfgang an seinen Onkel denkt, möchte er einen Brief über das Spiel schreiben. Er hilft seinen Opa gern besonders bei der Hausarbeit. Ihre Mutter wartet gern auf ihren Brief. Danke.